I think that he usually talks to Mitch like that, and I think that's why it wasn't a big deal until the internet got it. I think that's how they talk to each other, or that's how Mitch lets Yachty talk to him. So, if he was cool with it 2 weeks ago, address it now and say you okay with it, because that's how y'all act towards each other. I don't agree with that, but that's how they act. That's their relationship.
Y'all seen that Lil Yachty stuff?
A little bit.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
He been, they say he was disrespecting his friends. He disrespected his best friend Mitch. I don't know if it was disrespect. We gonna see. And then with that Karrahbooo girl, he had some words to say about her too. So we gonna review it first, and then we'll see how y'all feel about it and get some more around it. Hey yo, it was a lot going on there for sure. What y'all think? Is Lil Yachty wrong for what he been doing?
I'd say keep shit off the internet, man. Shit ain't gotta be so publicized, especially when it comes to that. Everybody got their own opinions. But overall, like if he felt like he been helping his friends and they ain't grateful or appreciative of what he been doing, I get it. You can get frustrated. You can get very upset about them not showing you that love that you might want to receive.
Yeah, because I think that's how he feeling. You think he feel unappreciative, like unappreciated? Like I do all this for all these people and they don't give me the respect I deserve.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that's what he's kind of feeling.
And you think he just kind of lashed out on everybody on to a point?
Yeah. Probably just tired of shit. But what his friend Mitch or whatever, I don't watch his podcast, so I don't know what's going on there. But you ain't gotta like I said, you ain't gotta publicize it, man. You can have a little conversation to the side about your feelings and all that stuff, and keep it off the internet because people gonna have their opinions. People gonna make it what they feel like it is. So
yep, they got the right to.
Yeah, everybody got the right to. Yeah, but when it comes to somebody's like any type of relationship you got with anybody, you gotta keep that shit private. Now people dogging you out. Like they said, people was flaming them on the internet and they had to defend themselves some way.
Hey, how y'all feel about the way he was treating his friends? Would y'all treat y'all friends like that?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that was the wrong time to try to prove a point. I think he took that conversation and kind of tried to embarrass him. And it was like, to me, I never heard of Mitch until their podcast. So we kind of already know that you put your friend on. So there's no need to publicize that and talk about it. But at the same time, if Mitch wasn't offended by it and he saw no problem with it, he should have stepped up and said, I'm not offended by it. He kind of let Twitter talk about it, and then Yachty got bashed, and that's why everybody caught strays, because then he started talking about his group and basically calling them broke and how he did everything for them as well. So that whole situation just could have been handled better. Yachty shouldn't have went that far, and Mitch should have just been like, y'all, I'm not mad. We cool. That's how he talked to me. I don't get why he let him talk to him like that, but that's their friendship. I guess he okay with that based off what he said after the fact.
Yeah, I think it was wild for sure. I think it was wild. I feel like it's like when you do something good for somebody, you shouldn't like. It was like he was rubbing it in his face. Like,
Right.
Exactly.
I did something good for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not genuine. That's not
Yes.
that love for real.
So now everybody's questioning, like, are you doing this like as a genuine thing, or like what are you doing all this for?
Mm-hmm. That's the play. That's for sure.
So what y'all think he doing it for then? Like, if he not doing it just to genuinely help his friends?
Could it be just to
I
stroke
think
his,
that's it.
Yeah, to stroke his ego. I mean, it's to me, it probably was genuine in the beginning, but now I feel like he feels like Mitch owes him something. And if Mitch doesn't stand up for him or fight for him, then he like all this stuff I did for you, you wouldn't be here without me, which then kind of shows like you letting that get to your head, and now you want to be the boss and boss everybody else around, basically.
Yeah. I think you got it on point. 'Cause that's literally how it seemed. Like he was like, Mitch was like, if you want to get out the hood, you got to change your thoughts. And then Lil Yachty's like, well, I have a difference of opinion from you of you. And then it was like, well, we can't agree to disagree. And Lil Yachty like, no,
Yeah, yeah,
what I say go. Why? Because you had this. I did this for you and that for you. It's definitely wrong. He's definitely wrong for it. Jago.
I watch the podcast. I enjoy their podcast. I hope everything blows over so that they can bring that podcast back because they was actually being consistent.
So they stopped
But
the podcast because of it?
nah, not yet per se, but because they post every 2 weeks, and that was the last episode. But do I think Yachty does things out the genuineness of his heart? Yes. But on another episode of their podcast, they had Charleston White on there, and basically he was saying Yachty been rich so long and from such a young age that he's lost touch with reality and how people actually live out in the world who aren't rich. And not to say Mitch would have more experience, but he was living off of Yachty in his house, making music together. Mitch makes beats. He's got a couple of songs with Yachty. But
So you think Yachty had the right to talk to him that way just because Mitch been living off of him for so long?
I wouldn't say it's the right. Anybody has the right to say anything. It's more of the, if anything, the why, because they do have their differences like that back and forth on their podcast already sometimes, but it don't be like this because I guess the people with opinions blew up on the internet. The internet's a dirty place. But here I am.
You got a good point. I think Lil Yachty definitely was hurt by what people were saying on that internet.
Yeah, it was the internet, man. Because now he got people providing their opinions. Because when I watched the video on the day it came out, I saw in the comments, "Oh, look at how Yachty talking." Da, 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 da. I was like, from there, I was like, "Oh yeah, this gonna turn into something bad." Because he already had the Karrahbooo thing going on, and they were being quiet about that until some girl met Karrahbooo and said something like that, and then it blew up from there. So it was just a lot coming in at the same time, and he crashed out and went from high to
Yeah, he did. He did. He did it. He went from high function to low function. He did. Milas, how would you feel? How would you feel in that situation? I know you're a real giving person.
I feel like personally, when you're someone who people don't see get upset, or as someone that people don't see get mad, or like you're a genuinely nice or kind person, soft spoken, etc., people will develop a, I guess, a certain idea of who they think you are in their head. So when it does come to a time where you do put your foot down, or there is a time or situation that brings conflict, it's like, okay, how does this friendship, or how much does this friendship value, mean to me? Like, am I going to keep it, or like let it stress me out, or am I actually going to confront and say, hey, you did X, Y, and it kind of.
Yeah, it could make somebody definitely feel some type of way. I feel that. I think Milas just put a whole new like twist in there on the things though, because Yachty could be feeling used. What y'all think?
Like what Mama said, like if nobody ever seen you lash out in that way, then they're gonna, of course, they're gonna be kind of thrown off by it. They're not gonna expect. They never expected you to act a certain way and to be this type of person. But like Jago said, that certain people this a response of that overall interview trigger him. Like you said with the whole Caribou situation, what he had stuff going on. So I feel like you might have to clarify certain things to people, so people truly won't get shit twisted.
So if you do feel used in a situation, like how are you supposed to come out with that, especially when Twitter is making you seem like you the bad guy?
I
Yeah,
mean, it's no one's fault but yours as to why you feel. I mean, if you feel used, that's a personal feeling. Like, and then it's up to you to make sure that you no longer give as much to the person. So that's kind of for him to manage. I mean, I understand why he got so upset because everybody was bashing him and Mitch, who's he gave so much to Mitch. Mitch couldn't even say it's not like that. I'm not offended. He didn't mean it. Mitch said nothing until Twitter talked about it for like 5 days.
Yeah, and they
Basically
was
called him
dragging him through the
all types of,
mud.
messed up. He taking advantage of his friends. He ain't a real friend, blah, blah, blah. And Mitch was just like, oh man, I'm sorry. It's okay.
And even if Mitch felt a real way about it, he could have went to Yachty, like they
Mm-hmm.
hashed out those feelings and then went on social media like, y'all, we've already handled this. Like, y'all got to drop this. We good.
Yeah.
Lecie, how you going to handle a situation like this?
That foundation is everything. So I think it was a little distasteful for Lil Yachty to come at him like that on the podcast, I will say. I do think his feelings were more so hurt, or he was like what? Like, so I think it caught everybody off guard, but I definitely think that, to Pat's point, keep it off the internet. Like, that's something you need to have a conversation with your homeboy later on. Like, because it blew up for no reason when it could have been a conversation and they could have been high functioning individuals.
I feel like
I
if
feel
they
you.
saw it as an issue, they wouldn't have dropped that podcast. It
Right.
didn't become an
That's
issue
true.
until everybody's Twitter opinions got involved.
Yeah,
That's
it
true
definitely
too.
didn't. I feel like that's what I was thinking. Like, hold on, they not like live or nothing. It ain't just like it came like they
Mm-hmm.
reviewed that. Like they knew that was in there.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think that he usually talks to Mitch like that, and I think that's why it wasn't a big deal until the internet got it. I think that's how they talk to each other, or that's how Mitch lets Yachty talk to him. So, if he was cool with it 2 weeks ago, address it now and say you okay with it, because that's how y'all act towards each other. I don't agree with that, but that's how they act. That's their relationship.
I feel like that'd be some craziness. Like I know you doing stuff for me. I know I've been living with you all these years, but you ain't gotta talk down to me like this. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
especially if this our everyday speak, you always talking down on me. Like I did this for you. I do this for
Hmm.
you. If somebody's always telling me what they did for me, it's like, bro, I'm personally gonna get up out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Steve. I don't want nothing else from you. If you keep reminding me,
Hmm.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'll be a-okay. It's
Hmm.
no problems. I'm good. A-okay. Y'all got
Hopefully they
anything else
do.
to say about this Lil Yachty and Mitch in Caribou situation?
Be decent friends.
Yeah. And Caribou should have just minded her business, because now her business got put on the internet that she don't write her rap. So she should have just said nothing.
We knew
Yachty
that.
told
Are
all
we
her
gonna act
business.
like we didn't know that though? Like,
Yachty
I
can't
mean, yeah,
fight.
but nobody said it. I mean, we didn't need to talk about it, but Yachty said, since you want to talk about something, let
yeah,
me show you this. And he
yeah.
played it, and it was like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing.
Yachty raps for I mean, he writes for the industry though, like everybody.
True.
Yeah, but she made it seem like it was hers. Like, she rapped
Like,
like that.
yeah, like she like that.
And he said, no, you don't.
And he spent a lot of money on her too.
Yeah.
100,000. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
900 is crazy.
a lot of money.
Cause it's like
Yeah.
she's almost like on the opposite side of Mitch to me. Like she's the one where he gave her things and she unappreciative, but it seems like Mitch got stuff and he's appreciative of it.
Right.
So hey, that's how I feel about it. Anybody else got anything else to say?
Karrahbooo said she wanted to be a voice actor anyway.
Yeah, we know she didn't want to rap.
I say just keep shit off the internet. Have that one-on-one conversation you want to address.
Yeah.
Yeah, be high functioning in your friendships as well. Hey,
Nah, fuck you, Steve.
See, there you go. Your low functioning side coming back out. Like I said, it's coming out.
Anyway,
Yeah, I'm telling you. Hey, it's coming out. Hey, if y'all would make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment.